I'm going. And I'm actually leaving tomorrow, so I can't even help with anything.
Mark, you ready?
Yes.
How about you guys? Everybody else over here ready?
Yeah.
Holly? Okay. Start the city council meeting for June the 14th, 2022. We'll start by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. And if you can.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Start with roll call. Council members. Helgeson.
Here.
Don Richigo.
Here.
Holly Ryan.
Here.
Mary Bailey is late or busy. Mayor Henke is here. City Administrator Mark Paulsing.
Here.
City Engineer Derek Olander.
Here.
City Attorney Scott Riggs.
Here.
Assistant Administrator Holly, I know you're here. Finance with Kathy, and we do now have Officer Mitch in with us for this evening. So we will continue on. We have next part of it is citizens' comments. Are there anybody that has some comments to make? Ask again, any citizens' comments? If not, we will continue on. Next on the list is adopt the agenda. Is there any changes to that?
So I have one item to add to new business, which would be new business B. That would be MetroNet request to place a cabinet for their internet service on the fire department on city property near the fire department building near the fire hall.
Okay, anything else that should be added?
Oh, that's all.
If not, can we up the agenda then?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda as is with the change for the MetroNet cabinet on city property.
Okay,
I'll second it.
okay. Motion has been made and second to adapt the new agenda. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, ayes passed. Okay. Go on with the consent agenda, which we can also add approval of the minutes and appointments. And we can also do finance all at the same time.
I'll move approval of the consent agenda.
Okay, and we'll second that one. So all of those in favor of it, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, ayes pass on the consent agenda. Okay, we can continue on with presentations, public hearings, recognition, proclamations. Is there anything going for that?
I know.
Nothing on that part? Okay. Well, then we can get started with engineering. And, city engineer, Derek Olander.
Just a couple of updates on some projects for this summer. No actionable items for tonight, but just go through these one by one. North Street drainage improvements. Contractors started ordering materials for this. Currently expecting them to start in late July or early August. So we'll have more updates as we get a little bit closer, but it'll be a late summer project. Pearl Creek and Forest Street sanitary sewer improvements. The televising company, been talking with them recently, and we're currently expecting them to be out next Monday. So their work will only take, I would think, no more than a couple of days to complete. Once we receive those reports, then we'll be able to continue on with our preliminary design that we needed to understand what that project was going to entail. The chip sealing project for this summer is currently scheduled for middle of July. Once we get a little bit closer, what we've normally been doing is sending out some maps and posting them on the city Facebook page to let people know there'll be no parking signs up as well. And then lastly, over the next couple of weeks here, you might see some contractors out on the 2020 projects, which is the business park project and Red Wing Avenue. There's some minor warranty type repairs that they need to come in and complete. Expecting that to be done just about any day now. And that's all.
On the Pearl Creek, have they found all of the manholes now? You got a pretty
Yep.
good idea where everything is at in there?
Yep, we mapped everything in 2020, so we have a very good understanding of where things are at.
Okay. Anything else to add?
That's all. Thank you.
Council, do you have any questions?
Nope.
Okay. Then we will continue on with legal, and we will have Attorney Riggs. You got the,
Yep, thank you, Mayor. And maybe Mark will explain a little bit more on this nuisance item, but you have in your packet reference to 1 Langford Avenue nuisance violations that are purportedly existing there. Mark has got a pretty good explanation in the staff memorandum towards the bottom on page 14, where it talks about what we need to do. If you are in agreement with what staff has brought forth here, or at least further investigation that should go on regarding the property, the idea would be direct staff to bring back for a public hearing under our own city code, the nuisance violations that's occurring. It does start in process, and Mark also has those in the packet for you, the city code sections from sections 210.05 onwards, where it discusses what the procedure is for that. It's reasonably straightforward. Once we do the notice of hearing, the property owner or anybody interested in the property have the ability to explain why and what they have there. Provide any more background. The council then has the ability to direct that it be cleaned up. We provide notice to the property owner of that direction. If it's not cleaned up in a certain amount of time, the city can then go and make that cleanup occur under the city's authority. That would allow the city also to assess the property back for any costs that are incurred for that cleanup if we go this route. So that's the reason we follow the statute and do that. There is an alternative procedure that can be done as well under state statute, which is the criminal statutes. And you can go that route. We can have David Jacobson deal with the property in that fashion. Typically, that's not as good of a remedy. Sometimes it's cheaper, but it's a little more difficult, and the control does not lie with the city council. It goes to the court system at that point in time. But that is something we have used in the past as well. So you have 2 options: what is provided in your packet under city code, and then as well as the criminal violations. The reality is we also could charge criminally under city code if we feel that's necessary. So the police through city staff can do that as well. So we've got a couple different options. I think what Mark's looking for is just a brief discussion on it, and you direct staff to move forward with getting everything in place if you feel it should be abated. Anything else, Mark?
No. So you have pictures and sections of the ordinance like Attorney Riggs discussed. We've sent 2 notices to the property owner, and they haven't really made any substantial changes, maybe moved a few cars around. One individual has come and talked to me a couple of times, and said that he owned those pontoon those are pontoon haulers. And he said he told me last spring that they were gonna be gone and then came back in mid-May, I believe it was, and told me that by August, and I said, we're still gonna move ahead with, the procedural things, and the sooner they move those, the better. So I have not had any contact with the property owner himself, though. And, there's a couple of issues going on here. One is the primary issue is the accumulation of vehicles, inoperable vehicles, large trucks, small trucks, boats, debris. I haven't walked that property, so I mean, I don't know, but there's a lot of stuff in the back there. The mayor, I think you probably know almost better than I do, because your property, one of your properties is right by there. And the other thing is, if, they talked about possibly operating, the owner talked to, it must have been at least a year ago, if not longer, about possibly operating some type of like a high pressure wash kind of business in the back there, where they would clean. I can't remember exactly what they called it. They would clean stuff, metal, that hasn't happened. But if they do any kind of business back there of that nature, they're going to need a conditional use permit, which means they have to go through the planning commission, the city council. And there's also requirements for fencing because it's adjacent to residentially zoned areas. So, and I've talked to the owner about these things. So there's kind of multiple layers of this, not just cleanup, but if they are going to operate some type of business there, from what they've described to me, which would include sales or vehicle sales or whatever related to that, it would have to have a conditional use permit. So that's sort of another front on this, but anyway, so that's kind of the whole of the situation with that property. And I guess what staff's requesting is that we can move ahead with the next step, which would be a hearing. The city council would have a hearing, and then after that, they could make a finding, that it's in violation of the city code. So I don't know if there's any questions.
So Mark, will have you in the letters, or will you going forward spell out specifically the steps that need to be taken to get back into compliance?
Well, the letters do talk about the steps that need to be taken. They talk about the fact that the items need to be removed in question or in violation, need to be removed off the property within 30 days. That's what both letters said. And then that they need to contact the city about a fence and a conditional use permit.
Okay.
So both letters did talk about that.
And is any of this stuff spilling over on neighboring properties, or is it all being confined to the property? Or haven't we gotten that detail?
Well, I don't know for sure. I will say that there's some stuff on the west side of that property that does look awfully close to property to the west, but I can't say for sure if it's on another property or not.
And you've sent you've sent two communications to the owner of the property, and I've heard nothing from that owner of that property on either of those.
Correct.
To fill in a little bit on this here, pardon me. Like Mark says, this has been an ongoing thing for a number of years already. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it down there or not, but I was just by there again. I go by it regular. I just right before the council meeting here. And that there's all of these vehicles that he has down there. Some of them are plated for current, some are out a few months, some of them are back in 21 already, and 20 on it. Trucks have been in there, and I'm not knocking trucks, but there's trenches where he's driven back and forth in there, and water is standing there with mosquitoes coming up into the area. We've got there's rodents back in there. There's garbage back in there. He does nothing but move stuff around. And like Mark says, he comes, tells them we're going to do this here, and all he's doing is buying time. And that now it's already August that he wants out. I can tell you this here. I go by it quite frequently because it's been on my list for a while. He doesn't do anything but move something around or bring something else in, and does not add or subtract and take things away. It's just more junk. They cut down a tree. Instead of cleaning it up, they let it lay. There's a boat back in there that's something. There's garbage completely all the way around this place. Mark has been there. I think the city chief of police has been there also with them. We get nowhere with them. Now in the area, Kemstone had an old tower and so forth there. They were asked to remove this. They went ahead and did it, cleaned it up. Kirk Heiner has some trailers that are there. He was sent a letter. They're in the process of cleaning this up. And this has only been in the last number of months that they got ahead and with it. This guy has been on this now for 2 years and does nothing but add more to it. So I think it's time that we move forward with this here. It does not do Highway 60 and 56 any good coming into town to seeing the mess that we have there. Now, when you're talking about placing the vehicles on the neighbor's property, I can't tell you exact survey line, but let me tell you, it's right on it. To the west a little bit more is county property. The city actually is taking care of every bit of that. Otherwise, it would really look a lot worse than what it does right now. So that's why I feel we should go forward with it.
Is the owner of the building a resident of town as well? or
Yes, now,
He is now, okay.
yeah, he moved, apparently moved back and the property is, has a, I'm not gonna say the exact address, but yeah, in the city of Kenyon.
Okay.
Yep.
I agree with the mayor as far as the visual that people coming into town from those locations are gonna see. I mean, in these pictures here, the front does not look as bad as I have seen it look, but I do agree, it does
Yeah,
give
it's
you a sour
nice one.
taste in your mouth for people coming and
Absolutely.
seeing that.
Well, and I think you've given them multiple opportunities and he hasn't even responded to either communication. So I would agree that at times, at this time, I feel like you need to take the next step.
Yeah, especially, vehicles that the registration has lapsed. I mean, that's not going anywhere and, the trees that have been taken down but not removed. Yeah, it seems like there's a need for some action.
Well, to move forward, we do have to have a motion on that.
And what exactly would you like the motion to say there, Scott?
I think it's as simple as a motion to move forward with the abatement procedure regarding 1 Langford Avenue.
Okay,
And in that, just to go back to what Dan said, in that it specifically says, here's what
Yep.
you need to do to get up to par.
Understand?
Is there a way, is it proper to put in a date that, must comply?
Well, Mark's done that, and that's what will happen once you set that after the public hearing. You can set a date. Typically, we give them,
Okay.
yeah, so
Yeah,
we'll
that's what
have
I
a
would
date
think, yeah.
specifically that they have to
Yeah.
comply by. If not, then that's when, city staff can step in and start removal and cleanup at that point. So that's what the process will allow us to do.
When do you think that this might take place then for public?
Well, what, Scott, I mean, can we have something put together by the July meeting?
Oh,
or-
absolutely. Yeah.
The July council meeting is what I was looking at, but
Okay.
I have to work with Scott to put the notice together. So as long as they get it to us and we get everything, we'll get it published and get them served or however that works.
That's what we have to do. So
Okay. Okay, we need to go forward then.
yeah, I'll move that we begin the abatement enforcement process for 1 Langford Avenue.
Good. I didn't know how to say it. I second it.
It ain't right, he'll tell me.
Is there any other discussion on the nuisance property violation of 1 Langford Avenue? If not, all of those in favor of the motion, say aye.
I,
Aye.
Aye, ayes pass. Okay,
Next item is updates to the tree ordinance. You had updated it last year as well. Trying to get there, sorry. And you can see in the blue and red what has been added, definition of hazardous tree. And then also how we can remove those hazardous trees towards the end in subdivision 6. We also cleaned up some language in the assessment that we can use our service charge provisions under city code. So it's a fairly straightforward assessment procedure that will allow you to deal with diseased trees, particularly the emerald ash borer, things like that. So those are the additions that are there.
the only thing I noticed was on page 4.
Okay.
The subdivision 6 of 30 days. Now, that's fine if we have normal weather.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think we need to have some leniency in there in case, you know, the tree removers are all busy.
Yeah.
And can't get there. It's not always easy to get a tree removal service within 30 days,
Yeah.
depending on what's going on with storms and.
No,
others.
that's a relevant point. I don't think staff would go beyond that. You still want to have some bookend date there. I think in
Yep.
30 days makes sense. The reality is if it can't be done, they'll be working with staff, with the homeowner, property owner. And to do anything beyond that with kind of the self-help cleanup of the city, we'd have to go through a very similar process that we just talked about on the last one. Unless there's a public health safety issue, a tree might fall on a property, over cars, into the right of way, over wires, you know, any type of utility, then we could move more quickly
Right.
and deal with it. But I don't know that you need to change that. It
Okay.
gives an aspirational date to get this done by, but it will give staff some flexibility. They obviously will work with the property owner if they can't get a contract.
Okay.
So this would be an ordinance. If you don't have any further questions, it would be a simple motion and then a roll call vote to approve it. And then it would be published and become effective.
I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance number 99.
I'll second that.
is there any other discussion on it? Okay, motion been made. Second for a proposed ordinance number 99, amending section 845 of the city code, meaning trees. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes, ayes pass.
We'll count that as a roll call.
Yeah.
Everybody said aye.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. No, that's,
we can go that way.
well, and that typically, really, you are supposed to do that for an ordinance. So maybe
We
that's the
will.
right way. Yeah.
Well, so we're short one council
Yeah, yeah.
person. Okay, Kim Helgenson.
Yes,
Aye,
I,
okay, got one.
Yep.
Ed Regigal.
I,
2. And Molly Ryan.
Aye.
3, and myself, 4.
Then you're official. We've done what we're supposed to do statutorily. Staff will get it published and then you'll have it in effect to be usable.
Okay, is there anything else that Attorney Riggs?
Nothing further.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Old business. Is there anything in there, Mark?
No, there's nothing under old business.
Okay, well, we're moving right along here. We'll be out of here. We'll go to new business. Evo Park liquor request. Natalie Sedell, July the 30th, 2020.
Yeah, so Ms. Seidel has asked for approval to have liquor at a wedding reception, I guess you could call it, wedding celebration. at Depot Park, and that approval has to be approved by the city council.
We've done things like this before too. They've had wine tasting down there before, so it's not, yeah, I'll move approval.
I'll second.
I think she's, the way what she's written here and that, I think it's just, a family deal. I don't think it'll get out of hand, hopefully. Just an enjoyable time.
Never know with a family deal.
I didn't say that. You did.
Any family deal.
Okay. We need a motion on that then.
We already got it.
Okay.
In a second.
Okay, motion has been made and second on the liquor request for Natalie Siddell, July the 30th of 2022. All in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye, so she's gonna get her liquor. Okay.
This is for the next item.
Okay,
So I have up on the screen also the location.
there you go.
Thank you.
Here's,
Okay,
so there's 2 pages there that you have to take. I tried to separate them. And you can pass the rest down. Great,
take 2 pages. There's 2 separate ones.
we got extra maps here or pictures.
perfect. I tried to print out the aerial, but it cut it off, so I'm just gonna refer you up here on the screen, everybody. So as everyone is aware, MetroNet agreement was approved a month or 2 ago with MetroNet to provide internet service to the city of Kenyon. They've now asked for approval to put a utility cabinet, and you have a picture there of that in the corner. I guess it would be the southeast corner of the fire department property. Both Public Works and Kenyon have looked at this location, looked at the surrounding utilities, and they don't have an issue with it. I've talked to both Randy and Wayne about it. They both are fine with it. John Jensen, and I apologize, I forget the other gentleman's name. Steve Moore are here from MetroNet. So I don't know if you guys have anything that you want to add to this.
We're here to answer any question that the council and the mayor may have.
Perfect.
So this is just a sample of what it will look like.
Yeah, that's how big it would be. Yep, that's not like superimposed on the property,
Just trying to figure out.
just so you can get a visual of what it would look like.
How many different lines will be coming into this box?
So we have an existing fiber box right here, and that's the transport that feeds Kenyon now, and we need to intercept that handhole. So based on your drawing, you'll see the one handhole right here, the vault location. We'll bury a conduit from that vault location over to this vault location, and that will get fiber service to the cabinet. And then on the other side, we have a vault location over here, and we'll bury a conduit to this first pole. And then with our pole apps, then the main fiber will come into Kenyon and feed all the residents in Kenyon. And then we also met with city staff. But we could go to here for this first pole for power service, but there's already an existing transformer there. So we'll also be looking for an easement to bury the power service to the power meter at the cabinet location. We need a 200 amp single phase power service. This cabinet has an 8-hour battery backup, and then it also has a portable generator hookup. So if there's a storm, as long as the residents got power at their house, they'll still have internet service. So we have an 8-hour battery backup here, and that's just for, allows us to get time, get a generator hooked up, and then it'll be running on generator power if it's out of service.
Where would all this equipment come from in an emergency like that?
Usually a rental place, they'll rent a generator.
So that's the nerve center, basically.
That is the nurse.
So if somebody runs over, we're all,
Here's host.
Off the grid.
You said it.
You'll see on your drawing, we'll have 6-inch concrete ballards in the front here, and then on the side, it will protect it from any traffic coming this way. And then the power pole will protect the other side.
When do you want to construct this?
So what we need to do is we just want city council approval for the location, and then we'll hire a PE, and then we need to get the survey done on city property, get a legal description made, and then we'll get an easement document prepared. It'll get reviewed by Metronet attorneys, and then we'll send it to the city attorney for final approval. And then once we get Mr. Riggs' approval, then we'll be on the city council agenda for your final approval of the easement document. Then we'll get it signed, notarized, and then we'll file it at the courthouse.
Is this fast track or is it, you're looking at September or something like that?
Well, no, I think I can get the survey done in 2 weeks, that maybe we can get it on the July meeting, for approval.
That's fine.
Um,
Yeah, I don't see a problem with it. If they can get it to us, Thursday before the council meeting or whatever, that would be,
Yeah.
Basically, it's up to Mr. Riggs.
I mean, he'll need it before.
He'll take care of it.
It should be pretty straightforward.
He's always there.
Yeah, it should be
You
straightforward.
will. I know you
Yeah,
will.
it'll be fine.
So I like the idea of having, more internet providers and, all that. The only concern or question I guess I have is, so we're gonna give public easement on public property to a private business. What if other internet service providers say, well, what are you gonna do for us? What if they want to come onto our property? I guess
We follow the same procedure and, I mean, as far as internet providers go, there's another company that has shown interest in coming in. I tend to think they're more of a wireless company, a Wi-Fi type of internet company, but it would be the same thing. And we would look at each one of these individually. We're not going to have 3 of these boxes right by each other, so they're going to have to find another place to put it. But, we look at everyone everyone on an individual basis. That's the best thing I can tell you, but I don't think we're going to get inundated with these kind of companies, and they would fill out a lease. I mean, they're within, the other thing is, I don't know if you're going to be within the right of way or out of the right of way of MinDOT,
That's why we're putting the cabinet and seeking to put it on. city
just off of
property.
MinDOT, so that probably won't matter with
We'll
them.
let that permit.
Yeah, okay.
And then it'll be next year.
That's true. Could be. So I guess the best answer is we would look at, the council would look at, and staff look at each one of these on an individual basis.
This is not out of the ordinary for a need for this, for a utility type provider to need some small areas to provide service. It does happen.
Yep.
So,
If I could add to that too, just given that it's at the edge of a property line, most, at least newer platted properties would have a utility
Right.
easement along the entire perimeter anyway.
Okay.
Right.
Very consistent with any other property.
Sure. Okay.
We need a motion.
Yeah.
No,
Okay, we'll second that one.
I make a motion, to approve the.
It'd be to
that
start
is.
the process to approve issuance of an easement to Metronet for the project. We'll call it that.
A motion to start the process for an easement for the property.
That works.
Okay, we'll second that one. Any more discussion on it? Is this got to be a roll call too?
No.
Okay. A motion been made and second to, for Metronet for an easement for their utility box. All of those in favor of it, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes pass.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Is there any other new business that we got? That's the last one there. Okay. Other business, schedule of upcoming meetings. First one on the list will be KMU meeting on Tuesday, June the 21st, 2 p.m. Our next city council meeting will be Tuesday, July the 12th, at 7 a.m. or p.m. I should say. Okay, we will go to council, staff, general comments. And we'll start on the left side here. How about you, Mark? Anything? to say?
Yeah, I don't have anything.
Okay, thank you.
Nothing for me. Nothing tonight. Thank you.
Well, I'm gonna pass on it to
Nothing.
Dan.
No, good.
Nothing.
One thing to remember is we have their the Thursday night is
The farmer's market,
Farmers market.
gonna have it this month.
Yay.
We're not gonna
say
have,
what it's all about now. Go ahead.
from 4 to 7 at the First Lutheran Church parking lot.
Yeah.
We have, I bet, probably 10 vendors now that are on board, so
Okay.
should all be there, and range of produce to baked goods to handmade crafts. We're gonna have a good selection.
We made a stipulation, it all has to be handmade. It's not
Handmade,
you
yeah.
can buy and bring it.
Another good one too is the swimming pool is open. I bet they're busy today.
Oh, I bet.
I heard the deer was in it yesterday.
Was he really?
I heard it was, the deer, yeah.
Our town mascot.
Okay. Okay, that's about the extent of it. Anybody else have a comment they wish to say? Holly or Kathy or Officer Mitch? I didn't catch what you said. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can have an adjournment. if-
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, I'll second that one. All in favor of the adjournment of the city council meeting for June, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, ayes passed.
Sharp one.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect in this heat.
Well, I know, but I'm leaving. so I better do it now. Yeah. I was gonna email you next Tuesday. I can make it regardless, but it might have to be over Zoom if we could do a Zoom. Oh,